15 appointments or whatnot. It's pretty straightforward. And I'll tell this to anybody that's new. Don't get me wrong, I'm still a rookie myself, but there's really nothing to be afraid of. You just, if you sit down with Carlo for at least 6 to 10 appointments, you're going to have it so memorized, and then you're just going to put it together with your own story. You know what I mean? You literally use almost the exact same words that he uses and everything, and the whole structure of it, which is very simple. And then, I don't, Carlo's a Marine, I'm a chef, so I'm not going to tell the Marine story, but I use my own story about it with my mother. And, my mom, she makes $100,000 a year and still has to work at Walmart full time to make ends meet, and she's 75 years old. So I just factor in my own little stories. I make it my own, but literally the presentation for the napkin presentation and the fact finder, the first 2 appointments, those are pretty straightforward and pretty easy. And then on the 3rd appointment, Carlo's going to come in and save the day and show the real numbers of how we can really help people, and that's what's been so powerful for me, is the fact that, because I'm going to say this too, because Carlo is getting so busy and our leaders are getting busier, which is a great thing. It's super important that you can give these little basic presentations. And I use the Zoom platform myself. And what's cool is I can do that presentation within about 30 minutes. So I haven't had to buy a Zoom yet, thank God. But I can give that presentation in about 30 minutes. I use the Help Me script to get them to sit in front of me, but I've tweaked it just a little bit to where it's not a Help Me script saying that I'm going to be with my coach. It's a Help Me script saying, hey, can I have some training on my own? I'd love to give you this presentation as a practice. So I've just tweaked it just a little bit, because for a while there I was at a stalemate. Carlo knows that, you know what I mean? After I started doing it on my own, nobody wanted to talk to me because I wasn't using the Help Me script as hey, my coach needs to train me. But I just tweaked it a tiny bit, and I'm still using that Help Me script. So that gets me the first appointment. And then I use the slides, dude. I'm not even going to lie to you. Drawing it the way Carla does is definitely a more powerful thing, because there's more talking points. It gives you an advantage to be able to have a discussion over each section when you're doing the 98% and the 2%. But I use the slides. Isaac sent me the slides for the, I forget what it's called. You open it up with Google Docs and whatnot, and you just click on the button and it does everything for you. So that's what I've been using. I used it 3 times last week. They all gave me follow-up appointment dates. So I did one today with a gentleman by the name of Rob. He's going to have a good future too. But I just think, because of how busy Carlo is getting, which is great for you and your family, and Isaac, and any leader is going to get more and more busy to where they can't hold your hand so much anymore. So you being able to do the first 2 appointments, I think, is just super powerful. And that's just the simple napkin presentation, and then being able to gather a fact finder. And once I have that, I sent it to Carlo today. Carlo's able to look at it and see what my client can actually do with his extra income every month. And so that's the way we're going to build the plan. And then Carlo can come in on his shiny white horse with his beautiful bald head and save the day. So that's pretty much it for me. It was liberating for me to be able to do the first 2 steps of that appointment, meaning the napkin presentation and the fact finder. So thank you, Carlo. And it really is, it's almost word for word structured the way that you showed me how to do it with my family and everybody else. So thank you for that, man. And thanks for giving me a few minutes to speak about it.
Absolutely, man. And well said, and I want to hear from 2 other people who I feel are new, but are starting to really get some experience and get some results coming up in the game here. And the next person, that'll be Roxana Guzman, Roxy out of North County. And, Roxy has actually been working a lot with Gordon in the field, right? So I told you, this business can be done online, or it can be done offline, still face-to-face. So I still meet people face-to-face too, guys. Roxy's someone that she did a home BPM, I believe at her house, where this is a great strategy and it still works. So if you're kind of new and you have a great market, it's you know what, let me just get as many people in one place at one time. And let's just share the story that way. And, and if I'm not mistaken, and I think I can say this confidently, Roxy wasn't somebody coming in here at the beginning, wanted to recruit, wanted to go out there and introduce people to building an agency just because of, right, the stigma associated with all this stuff. It's like, we know other companies that sometimes can get a bad rep for that, but over time, I think she's felt confident in the field training process. So I kind of like to hear your experience, Roxy, and kind of what you're getting, and
Yeah.
maybe you can share your experiences with us.
So yeah, so I'm really excited because when I started doing my trainings, like the online training and the training with Gordon, like I wanted to take, like, naturally I wanted to take a lot of shortcuts because it's too, like, it kind of was a little too fluffy for me. So then I was like, Roxy, you just have to keep it real. So what I decided is, like, starting off with my family, like, they never, like, I'm an entrepreneur and they've never really known what I do because I was working with a financial advisor. Like, I was the person filling out the applications, but not really having that sales conversation. So Gordon has really taught me how to, be professional and have, like, a script that I can follow and make it my own. So I decided that I was gonna do, like, a group presentation because, like, some of my people, they kind of feel too intimidated having, like, that one-on-one, even using the help me script. Like, they're like, oh, this guy's trying to sell me. So then I'm like, I just have to keep it real, really, share with my family and friends what I'm up to, because I'm really committed to the education. And then on the other side, like, I had a few friends that have been in the industry, and I'm like, I don't want to waste my time recruiting. Like, of course, like, that's totally not me. But when I started doing the online trainings and I saw a lot of value in the trainings and how this is a great opportunity for anybody. So I just started telling my friends, like, hey, you know what, like, do your research. If you want another option, check out Difference Financial. I think, they will really show you how to be a professional in this industry. So that's been my experience so far. And I have a few friends that, we're going to start collaborating, and I'm really committed to the industry as a whole. So it's been a great experience for me, like, trying to figure it out on my own and then finally landing, like, here with Difference. So thank you.
We're very happy to have you here, my friend. So thank you, and thanks for sharing. Okay, perfect. And the last person, I think I saw him in the car, but hopefully we can hear him. He's someone that I think we've trained. He's seen a lot of us in person, and he's been in the business for a while. But I think he did get off to a slow start, and that's totally fine. But he's really, him and his fiance in the last, I would say, 3 to 4 months, man, they really picked up steam. They started building a team. They're out in Yuma, and this guy, we talked to him today. He's like, man, I did an appointment yesterday, Carlo, and I'll be honest, man, it didn't go so good, man. We started laughing because that is to be expected, man. You're gonna screw them up. You're gonna butcher them up. You're gonna have people that really challenge you. You won't remember everything. You'll be fumbled a little bit, but that's part of it. But this guy, he's just been putting me in front of some very phenomenal quality people, and all through Zoom right there at the office. So we've been setting up follow-up appointments. We're doing business. We're building an agency all virtually, and so I'm really proud of him and his fiance, Cynthia. But I wanted to hear from him. Hopefully we can get him on. Andrew, are you there, buddy? Andrew Olea out of Yuma.
I'm here, brother. Can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear, man. So why don't you give us a little bit about what your field training experience has been like, and things, any tips and pointers that you can give to the rest of the crew?
Oh, man. What can I say? I never understood what you and Isaac would say when you said it would be a roller coaster of emotions. But, man, once you start doing, you really start to realize that. I mean, when the first time I did a Zoom with you, or with Isaac, I think, my very first appointment, I was, like, having a heart attack. I was super nervous, and I wasn't even the one doing the presenting. But, I mean, you just have to be confident. You have to be consistent. Failures are going to happen. That's just a part of it. And you really got to stick to the scripts and listen to you guys. You guys are the experts. And when you do all those things, I found that it helps me out a ton. And, I'm expecting I'm not expecting everything to go perfect. I'm expecting, you know, things sometimes to be rough, or, you know, just appointments going down the drain, kind of like yesterday. But I'm real excited, man. And another thing is you got to be coachable, man. So I'm just really excited, and I'm just really happy to be a part of the company. So it's been awesome.
Awesome, brother. I appreciate that, guys. So, I mean, I want you guys to know, I wanted you to hear from people that I think are setting great examples in the course of doing it. And, you know, it's the way that you're built in this business, you know, where I want to give you today's training is going to be really good, you know, in terms of fundamentals that I think you need to know, but also, you know, kind of sharing a few psychological points with you. So I want to go into and go ahead and bust out the notebook, because I believe if you write things down, you're going to retain information faster, right? You know, so obviously one thing I want you guys to do is embrace the suck, right? I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again, right? Is embrace the suck, which means suck faster, right? You know, suck faster so you can get better faster, right? Is a lot of people delay it, like, oh, I don't want to do anything until I get everything down. You know, I still need to learn more before I take any action. And I'm telling you, there's logic behind that, but really what you're delaying is the pain. You're delaying the experience of not being good. And, you know, as the saying goes, I love this saying. I'm teaching my daughter this, and she's now been repeating it, right? Every master was once a disaster. Everybody was, right? You know, and this business, I'm telling you, you need to go out there and you need to do about 100 appointments on your own. And I know that seems like a lot, but I can promise you that it's really not that much, right? And once you do 100 on your own, you start to realize, like, you know what? You start to develop a rhythm, a confidence, a predictability. It becomes kind of like somebody just came on. It becomes kind of like Shakespearean theater. You know, you have to know that it's a play, and you know the words of the play, but they don't. And that's how you learn. You know, that's how you learn. Go do 100 appointments on your own. And what I can tell you right now is, what is the average turnaround in this industry, right? Most agents, and you want to know how many most agents, and I don't know the percentage of this, but I would say most, let's say 90%, quit this industry within the first 2 years, within 24 months or less. You know why? Because it's that tough, right? This is not for the faint of heart. This is why we want you to do it part-time. This is why we don't want you to go 100% into commission until you really start getting that experience under your belt, because this will test you like you would not believe emotionally. But if you can last that 24 months, if you get to the point, I think the biggest thing, right? And I can see, you know, I know Isaac is here, is where you get to the point where you can financially 100% support yourself on your life insurance business, right? Once you can do that, I mean, your confidence is there. You have you know that you are an entrepreneur who can create money out of thin air, because there is a certain skill set, a certain confidence, a certain, like, I don't know how to tell you. It's hard to put in words, but when you know that you can go create something out of nothing, you know, we all want to be independent. And I think that's where the whole notion goes, is everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die, right? We all, you know, we all want, you know, it's like that whole notion of 6-minute abs, right? You ever heard that saying? It's like, you know, if I just work on my abs for 6 minutes a day, I'm going to have this hardcore chiseled body. And it doesn't work that way. And what I can tell you this with absolute confidence is that it's going to take a lot longer than you thought it was. It's going to be harder than you thought it was. You're going to have a lot of challenges and setbacks. And even with all that being said, it's going to be totally worth it. Now, if you can buy into that, and if you could accept that, then you have the emotional intelligence and capacity to become independent, right? With great power comes great responsibility. So if you want to be somebody that is independent of the system, and I'm talking about independent of the system is you require nobody to pay you. You don't go to no boss, no employer, no nobody say, please give me a job to pay me for my time. You are able to create income out of thin air through your skill set, through your confidence, through your networking ability, through your closing ability, through your mindset. That is the path to freedom. And you have to be willing to endure that pain and that discomfort. And building a business like this is, there's something sadistic, and I get it, guys. It is a little crazy because it's not natural. It's not natural at all. We're not raised, we're not born to become comfortable being uncomfortable. It's against everything psychologically, right? What are human beings? We are pain and pleasure vehicles. We avoid pain at all costs, and we seek pleasure in almost everything that we do. This is why we're addicted to entertainment. This is why we love to be entertained. But when it comes to the matters of the heart, it requires discipline, focus, and it's painful. You know, it's like if you like working out, like think about how synonymous working out is to building a business. Because how many of you have been in, whether you're running or you're lifting, and you get to that, have any of you ever worked out to the point where you're like you're about to throw up? Have any of you ever been there? Right? Like you put it on the line for that workout so much, and you literally feel like you're about to puke. And you feel like shit in that moment. You're like, oh my God, this is like, I'm pushing myself. But then there's a part of you that feels, hell yeah. Because I've never pushed myself to this level of, I've never even been aware that I could push myself to this level. And you felt like you wanted to die, but yet you didn't die. And then when you realized you did it, you weren't going to die. You had this high and this feeling of self-worth that you had not experienced up to that point in time. You're like, oh my God, I am capable of so much more. And that is synonymous with entrepreneurship. Until you put it, you know, if you want to be making big sales and $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 months, then you got to be willing to get to that point where you're going to, right? To that point of like, if you want something that you've never had, you have to be willing to do things that you've never done. This is consciousness, right? This is Eddie, you know, it's the only thing right now at your current level of awareness, you could only recreate things that you're only aware of already. Think about that for a second. If you want to have something that you've never had, it's because you have not tapped into that frequency, or you've not tapped into that. And the only way to get there is to go beyond no man's land, to go beyond something that has yet to be experienced and experience it. Right? And I know I'm talking philosophical right now, but there's a higher purpose to this. Be willing to lean into the pain of discomfort. And know that you have to make fear an ally as an entrepreneur. If you're addicted to comfort, don't become an entrepreneur, right? Don't do that, because you'll stay stuck. You'll be stagnant. But if you want to if I want to be independent, and that's what everybody wants, right? I want to be independent. I want to be able to come and go as I please. I want to be able to make $30,000 a day. I want to be able to make $100,000, $200,000, $500,000, $1 million of income. Then you're going to have to pay a certain price. And that price is going to be very uncomfortable. Now, I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying this to be truthful and transparent with you, but also that there's beauty in the struggle too. There is an absolute, like, man, you kind of come into this, I don't know, man, this like you know, that saying goes is you never know how strong you are until being strong is your only option. And we can choose, right? I'd rather you choose pain consciously, because life, being philosophical again here, because If you don't choose the pain consciously, then life will bring it to your doorstep unconsciously. Unexpectedly, pain comes to you in uninvited ways, because life will find a way to teach you the lesson whether you want to or not. And it might come in the form of what you least expect: financial crisis, health crisis, relationship crisis, right? Whatever it comes to your doorstep, because it's life's way of saying to you, whether you believe in a higher power, whatever, I'm not going to get into that, but it's life's way of saying to you, I'm trying to get your flippant attention here, because you will seem to unwilling to change. Now, if you're not willing to change, then I'm going to push your ass, whether you're ready or not. And all of a sudden, you now have to deal with that, right? And some of you have been through, whether health crisis, financial crisis, relationship crisis, whatever it is, personal crisis. All of us have been through something where you felt that, like, I have so much uncertainty right now. It's crazy how much uncertainty you have. But believe it or not, uncertainty is a human need. You know that, right? Just like we need certainty, like we need to know where our next meal is coming from. We need to know that we do have a place to earn income for our family, right? We also need uncertainty. Uncertainty is a human need, because who wants more of what they already are? Who wants more of the same? And more of the same only gets you more of the same. So when you go do something that you've never done, you are crossing that barrier, the terror barrier, as Bob Proctor says it, and we don't know what's going to happen. But then again, that's only where the unexpected can happen, is where a new experience can take place. I know it sounds deep, but I'm telling you that to me, this business has been the ultimate spiritual practice, you know, because it's very difficult sometimes to stay happy when you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. But you develop the emotional muscle to begin to be grateful for everything, even your challenges. I want you to get to a point where you look at your challenges in the face and say, thank you. Thank you for being a challenge for me, because without you, I could not grow and evolve to level 2. I've been stuck at level 1 for so long. And it doesn't matter what age you are, man. You could be 20 or 55 and still get this. We're all at different levels. Every one of us on this call are on our own individual journey within this space, right? Insurance is honestly, difference is really just an excuse to play the game of life. That's all it is, right? This is not here for, you think we're here to slang policies and do rollovers? That's easy stuff. Really what you're here for is to become who you're meant to become, and that process takes a lot of time. You know, and I know I'm preaching to the choir, because some of you have been here for a while, and some of you have gone through life experiences. Some of you are currently going through life experiences, and some of you have yet to go through certain life experiences, but they will shape you. And it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. So I want you guys to always just understand always stay in the big. In the big picture is your life. Remember that you are in total control of your life. You have to take responsibility for that. And everything good and bad that happens, own it. And don't blame anything or anyone. Everything, you know, and even if it is somebody else's fault, and, you know, I had someone challenge me on this very hard recently, like, yeah, but you don't know what I've been through. And you can't just say that, you know, you don't know what people have gone through. And I'm like, I know that's difficult to say, because it's so easy to say, you know, even if it is someone else's fault, why you are where you are, whether that's emotionally, financially, personally, healthy, whatever, even if it is someone else's fault and we blame them for why we are where we are, then if you blame somebody else, then that means someone else has to change in order for you to change. And you could wait forever for that. For things to change, you must change. You know, and this is why personal development is instrumental to your progress as a human being, because you cannot solve problems in life at the same level of thinking that created those problems. You don't solve your problems, really. You only outgrow them. You gain a new paradigm. You gain a new perspective. And thank goodness for books like Think and Grow Rich. You know, Napoleon Hill is where Napoleon Hill taught me. And if you read the book Outwitting the Devil, where he was like scared for his life, and he thought, man, he's like, man, someone was trying to kill me. It was Christmas time. I was dead broke, and I'm over here. Everyone's looking to me as the successful person when I can barely hold it together. And you know, and what he was introduced, what he calls his other self, like the spiritual side came alive in him because he was at that point of so much uncertainty. And that's where I learned the famous line that every adversity within it has the seed of an equivalent advantage if you simply look for it. And that's an affirmation that when the moment hits, sometimes it's hard for me to think because I'm in crisis where I'm dealing with something, but then I'm like, okay, hold on, Carlo. This adversity, if you look within it, there's a seed, there's something here positive that you're supposed to extract from this thing that you are overwhelmingly perceiving as negative. You with me? And if you look for it and you take a deep breath, you're like, that's what I needed to learn. And nod your head if you could tell me with absolute confidence that these things that happened to you in your past, whatever they may be, health, emotional, financial, where you know you almost were about to break, but you didn't, and you got through it, tell me you're not a better person for it. Tell me you're not a better human being for it. Tell me that your ability to persevere, like when more drama hits your doorstep and things happen, you can always say, well, this sucks, but it was nothing compared to that. So I can deal with this shit, right? You feel me? So don't forget your own power. You are a very powerful being. You're a very powerful person. You know, all of you are extremely powerful, but sometimes we forget how powerful we really are. And I want to make sure, you know, that we know that you know that, you know, that you're supposed to be here right now. And if you weren't supposed to be here right now, then you wouldn't be here right now. But you're supposed to be here at this very moment, September 23rd, 2019, 7:33 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You are supposed to be here right now with me, and we are co-creating this awesome experience together and building this amazing company where we're changing a lot of people's lives. All right. Damn, I think we could end training now, right? I peaked too early, right? Now I got to go talk about all this boring stuff and my training and how to build your business and prospecting and all that stuff, right? So I love you guys, man. I just, you know, I get passionate about this because I care so much about everybody, man. And you know, I know it sounds weird, but when you're going through challenges, you know, it's like, of course I want, you know, like a father figure, I want you to, you know, like I have 2 young daughters, and when they're going through stuff, part of me as a father wants to go and protect them, right? I want to go and be like, I'll deal with that so you don't have to. But then I realize in some aspects that's a disservice to them because I can't fight their battles. I can't fight all their battles for them. They have to learn how to fail. You know, you have to learn failure. You know, failure is a gift, guys. And, you know, and so write this down. So I hope to give you a new perspective on failure, because failure is a myth. When we look at it, there is no such thing as failure, right? There is no such thing as failure. So what is it? No such thing as failure. So no such thing as failure. There's only feedback. Look at it that way. I want to alter your perspective, right? There is no such thing as failure, guys. It is an illusion. I promise you that if you can really understand that, it is an illusion. There's only feedback, meaning that when you go for something and this is the result you're going for, and the result you got was something other than the intended result, and you say, well, this is interesting. This is not what I expected. You got a result, right? It just wasn't the result that you wanted. Now, the world around you will say, well, you failed. Well, that's a judgment. Failure is a judgment. It's like that saying that Thomas Edison, right? Someone told Thomas Edison when he was trying to create the battery, they said, you know what, how does it feel, someone like you who failed, because he was failing trying to create the battery, and the reporter was trying to make a mockery of him. And he said, failure, I don't know what you're talking about. I know 10,000 ways to not make a battery. So it's always perspective. And eventually he did, right? So failure is very much a part of the process, but it's only feedback. Now, what you do with the feedback is what's going to determine your next move. And the people that get the most out of Difference Financial are the ones that actually experience the most failure, because they're making attempts. And our business is not a business of learning, it's a business of doing. If all you come to these trainings are like, man, Carlo, you always give me this mental lollipop. I love the way I feel after trainings, but I'm going to keep on doing nothing, right? Then you're wasting your time, right? You know, because words don't teach, even though we offer so many here. Only experience does. And so if you're not willing, right? And I mean this with all of my heart. If you're going to continue to be a wuss, right? You know what I'm talking about. If you're going to tell me to be a wuss and be like, you know, I'm too scared of what people think of me. I'm too scared of rejection. I'm too scared of this not working for me. That's failure if you want to look at it. Because pain weighs ounces, but regret weighs tons. And I promise you, if you make it to your deathbed of 80, 90 years old, you're going to regret the things that you didn't do versus the things that you did. And you have an opportunity right now to take total control of your destiny, total control of your life. Become an entrepreneur in this day and age is a luxury. It is a privilege. It's an honor to be able to go and control your time and to free yourself from the rat race of control. Free yourself from the matrix. That takes a lot of balls. It's not simple. But man, if you're able to get yourself there, once you get there, you will become psychologically unemployable. You know, and for those of you that are working and supporting yourself and doing this part-time, I'm not saying, you know what, I'm putting in my 2 weeks notice tomorrow. I'm not telling you to commit financial suicide. But what I'm telling you is that look at your job as you're renting time to get to your permanent location, which is ownership, freedom. Don't get too comfortable there. Have an exit strategy, because time, ain't nobody on this call know how much time we have left. None of us do. So don't squander it by giving the best hours of your life to build someone else's dream. And you're so tired at the end of the day that you barely have enough energy for yourself or your own family because you've given it all to help someone else build their empire. You feel what I'm saying? Right? It's just, I want you to really put that in perspective. I love you guys, man, but sometimes I want to be truthful with you too, because we do not have an infinite amount of time to be who we're meant to be. We have to take responsibility for that. So, all right, let's get to it. So here, the next 30 minutes, what I'm going to cover with you guys is the 7 fundamentals of difference that makes success virtually certain here. There's 7 things that you really have to get down here on a broader scale. I'm not going to go into details. I'm going to keep this general, but these are the things that you should be focused on a day-to-day basis, because fundamentals are what win championships. Fundamentals are what, no matter what's going on in your business, no matter what the market is doing, fundamentals are what help you consistently get consistent results day in and day out. Fundamentals are habits. Fundamentals are tools, strategies that you can use no matter what, and you'll always get the desired result one way or another. And I'm going to share them with you as they comprise, or as it relates to how we do business in Difference Financial. So this is going to be copious, no time, because these are things that I want you to be able to teach your agency. And that's why the purpose of why we record these trainings, because once you sit with your team, none of this stuff I originated. These are things that my mentors, my leaders that took me under the wing taught me, that we're now teaching to you. Okay. And you'll do the same, whether it's a month from now, 6 months from now, 2 years from now. The fundamentals never change. So let's go over them, okay? So the key, let's see here. There we go. The key is mastering them. So not just getting good, but mastering them. So good is the enemy of great. So becoming great is what allows you to earn big money here. No one is going to pay you big money to be good. You got to learn these 7 fundamentals in order. And they're designed in a way that you learn them in order. So number 1 is you must master the art of prospecting, guys. One thing all greats in the industry have is they are relentless prospectors, always looking to add great people to their team and developing them into independent leaders. This is why you have to be a leader in order to develop a leader. You have to be great in order to attract great. If you're good, the best you can do is attract mediocrity. If you're great, people want to be around great people. This is why you have to develop your identity, develop yourself, because at the end of the day, guys, I don't care what you're selling, guys. At the end of the day, life insurance and annuities are just products and services. But at the end of the day, people follow leaders. That's what people do. They follow a leader because, you know, we'll get comments as a leader. You'll get comments like this. You know what? The only reason I'm here is because of you. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. And that's because people follow leaders, right? People don't join companies, guys. They join people. I'm flawed. I have flaws. Don't put me on a pedestal. I have things that I still got to work on within myself. Trust me. Right? We all do. But my intention is I want to become better. I want to continue to work on myself. And I'm hoping 3 months from now, I'm a better human being than I am today. I'm constantly wanting to work on myself because I know I have a lot of work on myself. I'm an unfinished product. There's still a lot of work to do. But you want to develop into an independent leader. And think about that word. Independent means I don't need nobody to hold my hand. I don't need no one to motivate me. I don't need no one to, what's my schedule today? I create my schedule. I independently do it. And I'm a leader. I set an example. I behave in ways that others will emulate. Here's another way of looking at it, right? Because we all would love to have Isaac Salcido's on our team. Gordon Chavez is on our team. These are people that are independent. So here's another way of looking at this right here. If you had, let's say you had 100 people in your agency right now, 100. And like a robot, they would imitate, like over the last 7 days, let's give it more, let's give it the last 14 days. You had 100 people on your team, and over the last 14 days, those 100 people imitated and mimicked your every move that you did. How would your business look? If you had 100 people that mimicked repetitiously every single thing that you thought, every single thing that you said, every little action that you took. If 100 people did everything that you did over the last 14 days, how would your business look right now? Would it be growing? Or are we surprised why our business is not growing? You see what I'm saying? You have to be the one first, right? Leaders go first. Leaders do it first. Leaders make money first. Leaders go through the pain first. Leaders embrace the suck first. And only then, when you go first, do you have the moral authority to hold your teammates accountable to the same process. I have no moral authority to tell Roxy, this is what you need to be doing, but I've never done it, but you need to be doing this. It's bullshit, right? She'll see right through that. So would anybody else. So just be really aware of that. Best way to prospect, your hot, warm, and cool market. Okay, that's one way to start. Your new associates, hot, warm, and cool market. You want to recruit as you go. You're not there to go and prospect. You're not there to try to recruit everybody. right? I never go out to prospect. I prospect as I go. You should be prospecting your waiter or waitress. You should be prospecting the bank teller. You should be prospecting, the cashier at your local grocery store, right? Prospect people, because there's a lot of hungry people out there that are just waiting to be discovered, that are just wanting, like, man, I want so much to do something better with my life. They just don't know. But the key is to be disciplined. The best prospector on planet Earth, I can tell you with absolute confidence, in my 14 years of experience in this industry, is Gail Young. Gail's the best. I don't think anybody even comes closely second to Gail. If you're within 3 feet of Gail, she's going to talk to you about the business. She has no fear. She's going to ask you about, how's your business? Are you ever interested in opportunity? Like, she just goes for it. Doesn't matter what your title is. Doesn't matter how big you are. Doesn't matter if you're the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. She's going to talk to you about, do you know if you have the right life insurance for you and your family? I mean, she's like, I've seen Gail do it. I'm like, damn, this girl's no fear. She just goes for it. And this is why she gets the results that she does, because she just is willing to ask. And the reason most people don't get what they want is because they don't ask. And you know what the number one reason why most people then don't join the business or do business with you? Because you never asked. You never asked because you did not want to hear the word no, right? Be willing to ask. You got nothing to lose and everything to gain. Look for people in your demographic, right? Right now, think about your focus. Look, who do you know right now in your general vicinity interest area that's interested in making more money, who's interested in owning their own business, who's interested in becoming financially free? Think about those people and just share the story. I'm not saying go hard recruit them, because they may not be a fit for us, but you should at least be, hey, I want to share some ideas with you, and maybe someone may come to mind in the future so you can be a referral source from you. Could you help me with that? Sure. Let's meet for coffee. It's that simple. And then you show them the presentation and let them, I'm not going to choose for them. Let them choose for themselves. The best market to build in, and Andrew Olea is really getting this now. This is why he's getting the right market, is you want to go for married people, homeowners, 25 to 35 in age range, right? In terms of the business, if you're looking to build an agency, people that have kids, an income of $40,000 or more, living in the area at least 2 plus years. These are people that have markets, they have networks. Lisa, who's not on train tonight, she texted me she couldn't make it. Lisa Campbell, which she just passed her license. She was in the business 3 weeks. She already passed her license. She already did everything. And she says, Carlo, I don't have a top 25 list. I have a top 200 list. And her market is phenomenal, guys, right? All bunch of people 55 and older who need to roll over 401ks, who need this, need that. And she has a lot of credibility already. So that was very much me focused when I'm starting to go for new associates. I want to find people that are in positions of influence, that are coachable, and that are in good markets, because there we can open a lot of doors together. All right. So consistent prospecting leads to appointments, new agents, sales, income, and ultimately success. So if you master prospecting, it's going to give you everything you want in business and in life. So my point is that when people say, one of the biggest excuses that people say, I ran out of people to talk to. You can never run out of people to talk to. Always, right? Write this down. Always keep a pipeline of at least 25 people in your network. When you're talking to 25 people, you're not going to sit with all those people at once, because people are people. Make sure that you understand human nature. Some people will be like, I'm really busy right now. I'm going through this. Sometimes you call on people, they're going through a crisis. They're going through something personal, financial, work-wise. So the timing is not good. So maybe next week, next month, 6 months, next year, but keep them in that pipeline and nurture and build that relationship. You got to know when the timing is right. I've been doing this now 14 years, and I still get messages now like, Carlo, I'm ready to sit down. I'm like, man, I sat down with this person 4 years ago, and now they're ready to sit down. It's just a timing thing with people. So just know that. So constantly keep a pipeline full. Now that's number one is prospecting. Number two is master setting appointments. You've got to get in front of people, and you got to do it consistently, right? You got to have a personal standard of excellence. I don't know what your standard is, but I'm going to give you the baseline results, because some of you on this call, you have so much talent, but there is no action behind it that I see. And I don't know what it is, if it's a confidence thing, but action cures confidence, or action cures self-confidence issues. Action cures fear. If you struggle with self-confidence, you have to get over that hump and go for it. There is nothing that's going to happen outside of you if you struggle with self-confidence, self-esteem, self-worth issues that's going to cure you from that, other than you yourself taking action. It's the only way you're going to cure that insecurity, if that's something that you struggle with. And I know it because I struggled with it too in the beginning. And I got to the point where, I don't know if any of you have been here, but have any of you been so broke you could barely pay attention? Right? I don't know how broke you guys have ever been, but I've been so broke that I've literally had $20 to last me 3 weeks. And I was married with a wife. Carlo didn't feel much like a man in those days. I felt like a total failure. I've had a lot of self-confidence issues, self-worth issues, major insecurities. It was hard to even look at myself in the mirror. And I remember how much I suffered in silence, and I remember for me, I just got so sick and tired of being sick and tired that I just said enough. And something shifted in me. And I just went from setting 2 appointments a month to doing 10, 15, 20 appointments a week. And something came over me. And for me, I think it was just like, I hit the proverbial line of like, I can't do this anymore. And I don't know if you're there yet. Don't wait to get there. But I know some of you know what I'm talking about. Maybe you've been there in which some form or fashion. But get in front of people, right? So let me share something with you. Because the rule of thumb is this, right? In terms of standard of excellence, let me skip this stuff here. What is your standard of excellence, right? What is your personal standard? It's kind of like saying if you're like, man, if for some of you, if you gained, say, 30 pounds in the next 3 months over a holiday season, how would you feel about yourself if you let yourself go to that degree? Right? Some of you have more personal standard, like, hell no. And some of you maybe who have been overweight, and now that you're not there anymore, you realize, like, you know what? Now that I'm here, I will never go back, because now I know what I'm capable of. Standards are standards. There's a way that we see standards, and in our business, standards are how many appointments that you do on a weekly basis. And it's funny because some people, like, I see the way that they treat their different business. If an appointment comes up, then I'll do it. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But our bank account's not happy. We're not happy because we're not willing to go through that discomfort stage to say, you know what, no matter what. It's a whole different way to look at yourself and say, no matter what, if I don't set 3 or 5 appointments by next week by Friday, then I'm going to work Saturday and Sunday until I get those 3 to 5 appointments. Now that's a standard, right? And that's what you should be doing. If you're part-time, you should be doing 3 to 5 appointments a week. Now, how many hours is that? That's 3 to 5 hours a week. If you cannot put 3 to 5 hours to your entrepreneurial enterprise through your entrepreneurial endeavor, then I have to ask you, like, what is your motivation for being here? Like, why are you here? If you're not willing to invest into your business and into yourself, and people will come into difference and they will go. I get that. And most people, when they quit, when I get their feedback, like, so what happened? How was it they worked out? I can tell you that they never did enough training appointments. They got rejected one time. And let me tell you, the number one reason people quit the business, here's the number one reason. I've been doing this a long time. When you figure out why people join the witness protection program of our business, and you're like, man, what happened to that person? They stopped calling me. They just stopped showing up. What was it? Something I said? Here's what happened. They got rejected while you weren't there. That's what happened. And they didn't like the way that felt. And then they put two and two together. It's like, man, I do not like this at all. I don't like the way that felt. And it's going to take another year, 2 years to even get to a point. No, thank you. And then we sell our will. We sell our we sell out to our dreams to go back to something that we don't like for comfort. And it sucks. It sucks, but it's true, right? You gotta have the stomach for rejection. It's gonna happen. But you should be doing at least 3 to 5 appointments consistently. And so I can tell you this, right? So I know Roxy, she's been doing this. Erin May, Andrew Olea, these are people that are consistent in weekly activity, and therefore their results are also matching that activity. You guys, the rest of you have got to get here if you want to have a business. If you want to have a shot in the major leagues here, you've got to be willing to have a standard of excellence, at least doing 3 to 5 appointments per week. You have to, guys, there's no other way, right? Even me, I think I'm really good at this business. I still got to be doing 5 or 10 appointments per week. If I don't, I can't feed my family. If I don't have a business. And I think I'm really good at the business, but I still got to go and make the calls just like you do and set my 5 or 10 appointments a week. Because out of those 10 appointments, I'm going to have 3 people cancel, reschedule. I'm going to have 3 or 5 people like, man, this is great, but call me in a month and a year. And then I'm going to have 3 to 5 people that say, this is awesome. Let's move forward. And it's consistent. Numbers are numbers, right? But I'm telling you guys this because mastering the art of setting appointments requires this consistency, right? You got to do those appointments. I cannot overemphasize that enough. The better become at setting appointments, the faster you become successful. Okay, so it is a skill to the point where you no longer need the scripts because it becomes second nature. Here's your responsibility as a leader. So if you have a team, I don't know who just came on, let me mute them. I can't mute you. Whoever just came on, make sure you can mute your phone, please. There you go. So your responsibility, right? So this is important for newer people. And those of you that have new people on your team, it's important that you reach out to your new people and say, do you even know how to set an appointment? And a lot of times they may say no, or they think they do, but they don't. This is something that you have to role play with your people, is go over the help me script with them. And then people need to be challenged. Your people need challenges. If you have a direct associate on this call, or that's not on this call, they probably should be here, but you know they're not, for whatever reason, make sure you're communicating with your people. Hey, how you doing? How you been? You know, how serious are you about this? I am. You know, what do we got to do so we can get you to set 3 to 5 appointments so we can get you in the game? How can I help you with that? Challenge them. And if they're not willing to meet the challenge, then don't waste your time. That's not the right person that is ready for entrepreneurship. You know, they might have bought into it for a second, but they realize, oh man, this is going to take work. Don't waste your time with that person right now. It's nothing personal. It's just, you want to invest time in people who are really serious about wanting to do something with their life. But teach them, and if they feel supported, that's going to be great. Whoever just came on, make sure you mute yourself, please. That's Susana. Hi, Susana. Okay. So if you want your business to explode, make sure your new associates are great at setting appointments. So that's something collectively across the board that you want to do with all your new people, okay? Number 3 is the presentation. So I've done videos on the presentation. We have a webinar on the presentation that you can watch over and over again. And, you know, I got feedback from Andrew. I got feedback from Andrew on this, right? He's like, man, I was just studying the presentation. Let me mute somebody here. Hold on, guys. Somebody here is unmuted. There we go. The presentation has to be simple, clear, and question-oriented. Simple, clear, and question-oriented. I do the same presentation every single time. I did an appointment with Andrew today in Yuma, and I did the same presentation he's seen 1,000 times, right? Same thing over and over again, and it always ends with, which of these 6 steps are giving you the most challenges? Oh, number 3, number 6, great. Would you like our help in putting together a complimentary plan for you and your family? Yes, I would. Great. That's closing, right? That's a question-oriented presentation, right? Your presentation must make the new recruit trainee feel like it's simple, easy, and that they too can do it. You know, and what's cool about that, so let me give you a prime example of that. So while I was out doing that training, right after, while I was in that training appointment with Andrew, I get an email from Aaron May with the fact finder that he just collected on his appointment of a client that wants to save money. So what's really exciting to me about that is that duplication works. Is that while we're out developing, training new associates to become independent, we have associates that are still acting and taking action outside of you and getting results. It works, guys, right? And wait till you experience it for yourself. If your presentation is too complex, it creates 2 problems. It overwhelms the prospect that you're trying to market to, or the person that you're trying to bring on board. It creates fear and doubt, because if your presentation is too good, your new associate's gonna be like, man, I can never be that good. And they get overwhelmed by that. Keep it super simple. This is the point of a presentation. This is it, right? It's to motivate your prospect to either join you in business or at a minimum, learn more about the services we provide and become a client. Here's a nugget of wisdom. Practice your presentation during your downtime. The time to practice is not in front of your new prospect. You should be practicing in the morning, practice on the spouse, practice on your friend, talk to your leadership and be like, hey, can I do the presentation on you? And we'll schedule a time to do that. Record someone who has mastered it and copy them until you get your own. So this is why I recorded the webinar. You just duplicate that. It's not hard. You can do it with white paper. I do it on yellow paper and a pen all the time. Okay? Keep it as simple as possible, because every business, keep it simple, stupid, right? We call it KISS, the acronym. Keep it simple, stupid. Keep it as super simple as possible, right? Because it's not what works that builds your business, guys. It's what duplicates that builds your business. It's what can easily be imitated that builds your business. And our business is about being able to present to new prospects. Another thing, number 4, is master overcoming objections related to recruiting and sales. One of the major reasons people wash out of difference is they get objections and are incapable of overcoming even the most basic concerns and objections. So if you master how to overcome objections, you won't recruit or sell everyone, but your ratios will dramatically improve. So you're going to get objections like, you know what, can I think about it? And this is something that we got to get to with you guys, right? Because you're going to have people that say to you, you know what, can I think about it? I need to talk to my brother about this. I need to talk to somebody else about this, you know. I want to look it over. These are all pushbacks, objections, right? You got to be willing to look at people like that and say, you know what, can you give me a few days? Can you give me this? It's okay. I get all that. But be willing to know when people are kind of just brushing you off, and just say, you know what, handle that objection. And be willing to be direct with them and say, you know what, I understand your concern. What could I share with you right now, though, to make you feel more confident about moving forward with me? Being able to be direct with people is very important in terms of being able to overcome objections. So if you struggle with that, overcome that. It's worth it. All right, so skip that. Now, we get rejected most often because our skill set is too low. As you raise your skill level, everything gets easier. All aspects of the business get easier. Until you can reflexively, listen to this, reflexively. What does reflexive mean? It's subconscious. It just comes out automatically. Until you can reflexively overcome the most common objections, you'll never become a great trainer. And this will slow your progress. Work on your salesmanship. Salesmanship is a skill. Work on asking questions. Look at the 6 steps of our business and say, what questions could I create there when I'm in the presentation that can really hook somebody? Number 5 is master life insurance and annuities. You must know how each of these products works inside and out. Why? Because being able to teach them, share features and benefits will motivate people to buy them. So to attract the right kind of people, you must be able to articulate why Join a Difference and offering our products help people dramatically improve their financial lives. I was spending time with Andrew on this last week on how to navigate the back office of National Life Group. Is spending time and hours going through brochures, reading brochures, going through illustrations, practicing illustrations, doing all the things that most people don't do so that you can become proficient in your craft. And that's why I love this business, right? So because now I understand human nature, I know that most people won't do it. I know that, right? That's the truth, guys. Everything that you think, what it takes to win is so easy, but most people won't do it because we're so much creatures of habit. And I know because I did this for the first few years too. People are like, Carlo, you need to study this on your own time. I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right. And guess what I would do, back then? I mean, it's the equivalent now of Netflixing and chill. I'd go home and be like, man, I want to watch the game. I want to watch SportsCenter. I want to watch a movie instead. I'll get to this later. And I kept on procrastinating, and my life wasn't changing. And it's funny, I waited until things got into crisis mode for me in order for me to make the changes. And I don't know what it is about human nature. I mean, we kind of subconsciously will put ourselves in a corner until we can't back out anymore in order for us to make the changes that we need to make. But you should be practicing this, right? Read the products, read the brochures, call the companies, call the 1-800 numbers, be resourceful. Don't call on your leadership for every single thing. Try to figure out the answer on your own. Google it, call the company, learn as much as you can. Go to IUL on YouTube, IUL versus whole life, IUL versus term. Why IUL sucks? Because I want to know what the cons are, what people think are the cons and compared to the pros. So that I want to know, like, is that true? Is that not true? I needed to come to those truths on my own through my own research. You got to do that too, okay? The better you know our products, the better you will be at presenting them. People buy your confidence in the products. Gail and I just did a $200,000 single premium life, and you know what this guy said? What he said when we closed the appointment, he's like, you know what? I wanted to feel your confidence today to know that I was making a good decision. Verbatim, that's what he said. Because he was looking at me and I looked him dead in his eye. I said, you know what, Malcolm, this is the best thing that you can do for your money, because what I'm confident in this compared to what you're doing now is that you're never going to lose a single penny of your money, and you're 62 years old. You work too hard for a market crash to come and you lose all that. And he was skeptical of me before that. And when he said, he's like, you know what, I just needed to feel your confidence in this, and I feel good about it, because people buy you. They buy your confidence, your eye contact, your tonality. They need to know that, man, this person, I can tell they believe what they're saying. If you can't explain your products, people will never buy because there's no confidence behind them. That's a really good point. Knowledge of our products increases your closing ratio. Number 6, there's a big one, is master recruiting across the kitchen table, online and online via Zoom webinar. So if you're going to build a business for your new recruit, you're going to have to master recruiting. You will lose recruits if you don't build them a team during the field training process. So I like the fact that right now we're, with Andrew, we started building them a team. With Roxy, she's starting to build a team, right? With Aaron, right? We're getting there, we're starting to build a team. He's got his son who's licensed already. We want to help you build a team. We want to help you at least get started. But then at some point you're going to be like, man, I'm now responsible for my team. I now have to be that go-to person for my team. They will see how it's possible to build a sales force and business. It's exciting to build a team, guys. It's one thing to be a leader The greatest privilege and honor you can have in life is to be a leader of leaders. By mastering recruiting across the kitchen table, your new associates will learn how to attract new reps. They're going to learn how to sell, and they're going to learn how to build, all by observing you, the trainer. This will lead to limitless appointments, since each new associate has a warm market that they too will need to be trained in. That's exciting about our system, because we never run out of appointments. We never run out of people to see. How fast can we get our new associate out in the field? That really depends on you. There's a saying that we have in our business that the pace of the leader determines the pace of the pack. Money loves speed. Let me repeat those two. If you want to write that down. The pace of the leader determines the pace of the pack. If your team is moving faster than you, you are not the leader of that team. That means that they went above you. And that's cool for leverage, because in the beginning, Doggo, like my people did not follow me. When I was a new associate, they followed Doggo, even though they were on my team. And it was funny because I was trying to motivate them. I was like, hey, do this, do that. I was like, oh yeah, but Doggo says this. I was like, damn, I didn't have influence on my people, right? I need to work a lot on my identity. So you can buy your leadership's leverage because they'll help you. But at some point, you have to take ownership of your business. And you have to be working equal, if not 2 steps above your team's effort. If you don't do that, you won't have a team. And right now, if you're, and for those of you that are on this call where you are a solopreneur, it's just you, the question I have for you is a very sincere and profound one. Would you follow you? Would you follow you in this business? Be honest with yourself about that. And if your answer is yes, then keep doing what you're doing. I promise you, you're going to have something good is coming for you. And if the answer is no, then also be honest with yourself and say, what are you doing to self-sabotage your success? What are you not doing on a daily basis that is keeping you in lack of self-confidence, lack of self-worth? What actions are you doing that continues to confirm your lack of self-confidence, your lack of self-worth? How are you talking to yourself? What are your actions behind that? And look at that objectively without so much emotion behind it, and say, you know what, this area right here, like I'm always telling myself you can't do it. You know, think about what you're doing and analyze that behavior objectively and say, I'm going to make changes there. I need to start there. This is not working for me. Because you can't lead other people until you first learn how to lead yourself, right? That has to be a consistent way. You're never going to become a great regional marketing director, right? Which is a premier position in our company, until you become great at recruiting talent, meaning attracting talented people to you. So the key to recruiting is finding out what the prospect really wants from their life and influencing them on how difference can help them achieve it. So it takes practice, right? So the only way to master this skill of recruiting is to constantly be out in the field working on your craft, and in person or online. And great recruiters in our business is, you'll know you're a great recruiter when you recruited someone that says, man, and I'm someone that said I'd never do a business like this, and here I am joining you, right? Because you got behind it. People don't join companies. Remember, they join people. We're wrapping up, guys. So the last thing here is getting in your new associates hot, warm, and cool market. Right. So for example, right. So we just brought a girl on board, Ruby, who's had a slow start. We don't know, and if Roxy was fully trained already, then Roxy's responsibility to say, Ruby, let me teach you how to set appointments in your market. And I'm going to be the trainer. You're going to leverage me, and we're going to go and educate those people together. You're going to watch me do it. We're not there to go sell them. We're not go there to recruit them. We're just there to go educate them on how money works and let them choose for themselves. And if we do enough appointments, we're going to get results anyway. That's how you start getting good in this business, and you do it quickly and effectively. if some of you, right, so this is a very, very, very important point here. If you have not done your 10 to 15 training appointments, then you're not ready yet to go on your own. Sometimes you need a little bit more, right? Andrew's starting to go on his own, but he's done his 10 to 15. Aaron has done his 10 to 15. Roxy, I think you're working towards that. You've done quite a bit already, right? And if you started off there, maybe you've been here 6 months, a year, or longer, it's okay to start scratch. It's okay to start over again. I don't care how long you've been. If you're like, you know what, Carlo, I'm going to set another 10 to 15 new appointments. I just need to get started again. I promise you, you're going to be a different person because you're at a different level of growth. Do it again. Do 10 to 15 appointments in 1 month's time frame. I challenge you guys to do that as a trainee. And if you are someone that is ready to train, then you should challenge your associates. That's what this number 7 is about, right? If you have a team of 1, get them out setting appointments using the Help Me script in their market and get in front of those people and educate them and watch how the world will open up to you. The world is your oyster. It will give you what you ask of it if you simply go out there and share the message that we offer. I promise you that. That prospect list, that top 25 that's who you're going to set appointments with. That's who you're going to do a presentation with. That's who you're going to overcome objections with. That's who you're going to explain life insurance and annuities with. That's who you're going to recruit a custom table or Zoom with. And that's who you're going to get their hot, warm, and cool market list with. So it's kind of, you see the culmination of how this rinse and repeat cycle starts to take place. And wrapping up here is the last thing is make sure that you get your associates top 25 list. It's not that you're going to call without them. Just make sure that they know how to fill out a prospect list. Because what is a business without potential clients? You're dead. You're dead. It has to be a constant thing. And this is where most people slow down. Get a new top 25 list from your people when you fast start them. Have them give you a copy of it. And in wrapping up here, guys, so what did you get from this? Everybody here, type one thing in the chat box of what you got from today. I want to hear from you guys. I've been talking at you for 45 minutes straight. I want to make sure you guys weren't watching the voice behind me there. Stick with it. Yeah. The importance of, Isaac says, the importance of being active and making sure the team has the fundamentals. Yeah. Fundamentals are what win championships, guys. It's not talent, it's fundamentals. Not everybody's talented, but everybody can develop fundamentals. The action steps to become a better leader. You know, those 7 things, guys, is what I share with you. I know it was, and it doesn't happen overnight exactly. These 7 things that I share with you, and I want to make sure that if you did not, out of each slide, if you did not get it, master the art of prospecting, master the art of setting appointments, master the art of presenting, master the art of overcoming objections, master the art of understanding the products of life insurance and annuities, master the art of being able to attract people and business partners to your agency. That's being a leader. And then master the art of getting in your teammates' market hot, warm, and cool quickly. These are the 7 things right here, guys, that we have to do. If you can do these are fundamentals, guys. They're step-by-step guaranteed success if you do them right. You know, and that's what Andrew says is coachable, right? You have to be coachable. Now, you guys know what the definition of coachability is? Write this down. This is super important. The definition of coachable is movement at the speed of instruction. That's what someone's coachable. Someone that's not coachable, when you say, hey, Roxy, you need to do this. Well, hold on, let me think about that for a second. I don't know about that. Let me think about it for a few days, you know. Well, my way has always worked, you know, and that's not coachable. So coachable is movement at the speed of instruction, is buy-in to what we're saying here, right? And I can promise you guys, I'm not here to tell you that, hey, it's my way or the highway. And I'm not trying to be egocentric around this. I'm trying to tell you that this works. That's why we have a system around it. And if you do it, you'll get results too. And I'll prove it to you. Okay. So you have to be committed to able to endure the good and the bad days. I like that, Manny. Asking to recruit for the top 25. Get a copy of your new associates top 25. And one thing that wasn't in there is sell your people on them. Find what the gifts are in your people. You know, the biggest thing with new associates and as an entrepreneur is we all have insecurities, right? And then kind of before you become an entrepreneur, you have to learn, like, it's like an art to be able to believe in yourself, isn't it? You know, to be able to, you know, do you guys remember that time when you started talking to yourself in a positive light for the first time? You know, when you start really, like, it sounds so cliche, but you actually like will look yourself in the mirror and be like, you know what? You are good. You can do this. You are special, man. There is something about you that people like. Like, I remember when I started talking to myself like that and actually started believing it. And what a difference. Like, wow, I realized I had never talked to myself that way before. I always needed it from the outside. I always needed somebody outside of me to tell me I was great, because I could never tell myself I was great because I never knew how. Make sure that your self-talk is on point. Know that you're worth it, right? Talk to yourself in a loving way and pour into your teammates. You know, call your teammates, guys. Trust me, they're getting their asses kicked every day. Call them, touch base with them. How are you? Call your teammate out of the blue and say, you know what? I was just thinking about you. Oh yeah, what's up? You know why you're gonna win? Because you're so good with building relationships with people. Because you really care about people. I love that I'm in business with you. Like, you got to talk to your people that way, right? As Art Williams says, is think of everybody has a flashing sign on their chest. It just says, it's always flashing. And the sign should say, make me feel good. Make me feel special. And really just look at everyone like that. You know, I like Jennifer. Isaac is good with that, man. He's one of the best at it because he's constantly pouring into people. And that's what we love about this business, guys. That's what I love about being able to do this right now. And I appreciate you guys listening to me rant for the last, 45 minutes to an hour. But I hope that behind my ranting, that you see that I care, man. I want you guys to win so much. I do. And I appreciate that you guys, that you're here, and that you're here and you're willing to give this a shot. And I take my role with you guys seriously, and we're in it to win. And if we can do it together, guys, we're going to create something special together. So I appreciate each and I want to keep fighting the good fight. Tomorrow's another day. Be grateful for everything that you got. And we're on to new horizons. So with that, guys, we did a full hour and a half. I love you all. God bless you all. Let's keep fighting the good fight, guys. And Saturday. So Saturday, as I want to introduce a product to you guys on Saturday that I think a lot of you can probably go out there and help people. It's the product that I know Isaac has done one, and Gail and I just wrote one. It's called a Single Premium Life. We just did a $200,000 case. So this is for people probably older, right? Who have money, we call them lazy dollars, who are just sitting in the bank earning nothing. How they can put them into a policy and that money's 100% liquid from day one. And they can get life insurance and they can earn money in the index. They'll never lose. And if they die, so for example, this guy that we did 200,000, that he had it all 98% in stocks, by the way. And he was very scared of losing that money. And we rolled it over into a single premium life, all cash. And that 200,000 is given right off the bat, $365,000 of death benefit. And that 200,000 is 100% liquid day one, so he could access it at any time. But now, if something were to happen to him, his Just $2 would get $365,000. And it's still going to perform in the index. So if the market goes up, you can make money, but if the market crashes, you never loses anything. It's pretty phenomenal, right? And it pays just like an index annuity. So it's going to pay $14,000 between me and Gail, right? For 2 hours worth of work, just because we paid attention to this. So we're going to explain that product to you guys so you have that down, because it's a phenomenal thing that you could offer so many clients that they don't even know this is an option. So we're going to cover that on Saturday morning, and I hope to see you guys there. Thank you, Jess. Thank you, guys. You guys have a wonderful evening. Peace and love.